Welcome to the first in a far more inconsistent series of videos. As it's the first in a new series, I'm just going to briefly go into how this one differs from the normal ones. I'll be making these whenever some new content is released, and specifically when it's related to one of the prior vids. These will, hopefully, be shorter, less edited videos, so I can get them out early enough to be relevant. This one in particular is for N-Corp E-Song, and by extension, Fell Bullet E. He's got competition on Poise with BL, Bleed with the Ring, and Bloise with Pequod, so I'll also give a rundown on how he compares to them. Spoiler, it's not great. Before I get into any of that though, please, can you go down below and leave a comment on something? It's okay if it's irrelevant, I just enjoy reading through the comments. It's half the reason I have this channel. And with the YouTube business out the way, here's the kit. As you can see, the numbers aren't great. Unconditionally, all he has going for him is the S3, with the S1 being a pretty dire 1 coin, and the S2 being average for 2 coins. His conditionals are fine, but he struggles for poise counts. Assuming he's actually getting crits, his S1 is +1, including 10 end decay, while the S2 and S3 are -3, and the counter is neutral, or a theoretical +1 if used when you have no poise. I can't even say BLE's support passive helps, for obvious reasons. What makes this worse are the coin effects. A lot are on crits, and that's pretty infeasible for him long term, or even short term. His potency gain is similarly slow, given he has to lead with an S1 or counter to ensure he doesn't just lose the 6 or 7 poise on the very next coin. His offense level is also bizarrely low, and you might think that much like Magic Bullet Autis, who he's clearly mechanically similar to, that he's reliant on the ego of the same name to sort his kit out. And while there's synergy there, it's not anywhere near as pronounced as Autis'. First, the passive. It's a way for E to get counts. Unfortunately, it needs him to get kills. While these can be allies, his S3 only targets allies at 7 to 1 memory, and while he builds it quick, even without ego, he's still usually carded until roughly turn 4. Even then, best case, he'll struggle to have enough of a poise stack to secure an ally kill without outside support to boost his poise gain. Back to the ego though, and it's safe to almost completely disregard the passive at this point. In regards to the awakening, it's better than I mentioned in the original video, what with it giving E a pretty easy 4+ stack of Torn, but the original issues still remain, and arguably they've only grown. Try as you might, but you only have 11 sinners, max, to team kill, and for plenty of content, you don't even have that. Poise is also the team most hungry for team kills, what with Thor Ryoshu, the aforementioned Fell Bullets, and now N-Corp ES3. There's no point mentioning the corrosion, given it's just a bigger, negative coin version of the Awakening. It's got more damage conditionals, but also costs more SP and resources. Finally, the passives. The first exists, I assume, for technical spaghetti reasons, and as such will be ignored. The second passive exists, almost exclusively, for interaction with Ego and the S3. 6 owned Pride is a lot, but is also the Pride cost of Fell Bullet, and in all honesty, a complete non-issue past turn 3. As for the other line, Fell Bullet, the status, is actually a pretty good buff. Bonus crit damage based on torn memory is nice, inflicting bleed on hit is something, and gaining poison count on kill helps. The issue is that accessing it is consistent. Once again, you can't always be killing allies. The support passive, thankfully, is pretty good. It's a shame it's on the wrong sinner. Giving an ally permanent damage up after they kill an ally is a major boost. It's a shame that it's A, only 1 damage up per kill, B, got a cup of 2 damage up per sinner, and C, on the same sinner as LCE Ego. That should be a decent rundown for the kit, and sadly, despite me really liking the visual and mechanical design, it just doesn't make up for the weaknesses. This shows pretty heavily with his comparisons. Putting him on bleed should be pretty obviously bad. I will not elaborate and trust you to have team building skills past rolling dice. Poise is similar, if less severe, and he's definitely worse than BL. The real issue is his lack of fodder allies to kill, given Ryoshu wants them all to herself. So the question really is simple. Is he better than Pequod, and is Bloise even a real team? The answers as I see it are a dissatisfying yes, and then no. Compared to Pequod, he has a much better S3 in defense, a slightly better S1, and a notably worse S2. However, Pequod also has actual bleed count infliction on the S3, whereas N-Corp needs an ally kill to get a third of that. I don't think saying he's better is a controversial statement, but I also don't think it's a major improvement. All this goes without me saying that Bloise is not a real team. There's no reason, outside of MD, to worry about trying to hybridise those two teams, and there's still not a single convincing argument to splash Poise into bleed. All of this just serves to put the final nail, unfortunately, in N-Corp E's prospects, and if nothing else, helping to prove my point about Fell Bullet being a cursed object. Somehow that even affects the narrative. And that's all for this addendum. Before I go though, please, I do need something from you. In my last video I mentioned being between Tremor and Ben for the last one. Currently I have exactly 1 guy who commented about it. Please, if you've got any preference, let me know, and I'll start work on the winner within the week. Thanks for your time and have a good day!